Hey everybody, this is Sherry with CPR Craft Pray Repeat, and I wanted to give you all an update as to where I've been. Starting with, I want to thank Lisa from Charlize's Crafty Corner. She has been doing updates on her channel for me and about how I've been doing for the last couple months. And so some of you already know what's been going on. But for those of you who don't, I wanted to just fill you in. I just laid this here so that you would have something to look at. I did this when I got home from the hospital. I hadn't crafted in almost 4 months. And I'm not really happy with how it turned out. I used the Stress Inks to color this, and I've never done that before. But so it's just something for you to look at so I can, let you know what all's been going on. And I will put a link to Lisa's channel if you could go check her out and tell her that I sent you over. I would greatly appreciate that because what she did for me really meant a lot to me. I have been very, very sick. I've been in the hospital on 4 different occasions. And the first 3, they were just pumping, they were saying I was dehydrated and would just pump me full of fluids and then send me home after a few days. And then come to find out on the 4th time, I nearly died, which is really hard to think about. I became septic. I had non-coagulative staph in my blood. So some kind of type of staph infection in my blood. And my kidneys had shut down. And my heart was shutting down. I was barely, my blood pressure was barely high enough to keep me alive. I couldn't hold my head up. I couldn't think straight. I was talking out of my head. I mean, I don't remember hardly anything from the last few months. I do know, that I kept begging the nurses when I first went in. I kept just saying, I just want to go home. I just want to go home because Mariah and Jesse, I was really worried about them. And then we had the hurricane coming and all this stuff, and the nurses kept yelling, you can't go home, you'll die if you go home, and that would scare you. And so of course that scared me, and I mean, my blood pressure was so low, I was just unresponsive. It was scaring my children, my husband, me. It was pretty bad. And but I also know that some of you sent me cards in the past few months, and I honestly cannot remember who, if I responded, I mean, that's how out of it I was. I just have absolutely no idea, what I did. So if you sent me a card and I didn't respond, I want to apologize because, I can't even begin to tell you exactly who all. I do have a few of the cards that my daughter saved and put aside for me. I just have been so weak, I really haven't had much of a chance to look at anything. And all I wanted to do is craft again and feel like a regular person again. And so again, if you sent me something and I didn't thank you, I do appreciate it. I truly do. I just was out of my mind and couldn't think to straight enough to tell you thank you. And I went and I listened back, to some of my old videos and realized that clear back in November, I had been complaining that I wasn't feeling good. And I guess it just took a while for everything to come to a head and for, me to get to the point where I was that sick because nobody caught it ahead of time. And I was seeing an infectious disease specialist, and of course, going back and forth into the hospitals. And now, there is part of what happened that the infection possibly has affected my shunt. Well, not possibly, it's affected my shunt that I have in the base of my spine. So I see now less than what I did before, which has been really hard. It took me forever to do this. I had to have building boxes up underneath of it to raise it up where I could get to where I could see it well enough, because I just refuse to stop my crafting. It brings me peace, it brings me joy, and I'm not gonna let this drag me down to nothing again. And so I went and I saw a neuro-ophthalmologist yesterday, and he's pretty sure that my shunt is not working now at all, and that the slits that they cut in my optic nerves on both sides years ago is no longer working, which means they would have to move and put the shunt up in the base of my skull, which really, really scares me to death. And on top of that, I woke up sick today. I've got a sore throat and chills and stuff, and if it keeps up, I'm going to end up back in the hospital. I think I just got it from Mariah, because she had a sore throat a few weeks ago. I've got earaches and just my whole body's aching. But I had to promise my doctor that if I got a fever or anything like that, that I would come back, because there's a chance, because this staph is so slow growing, that it could still be active in my body, and it not been taken care of completely through all the antibiotics they gave me. So if you would pray that that is not the case, because I do not want to go back to the hospital. Even though those nurses were wonderful, they had what they call a lift team, and they were these big muscly guys. I joked and called them the dream team, because I'm so short, I just kept sliding down in my hospital bed, and I was so weak I couldn't get myself back to the top of the bed, so they would have to come every couple hours, and they came and they picked me up with this little thing and slid me to the top, and after they did that, they would prop me to the left or the right, because I had gotten bed sores, I had gotten bed sores from where I had been in the other hospitals, and they didn't move me or anything for days. And so, I mean, it has been rough. It has been a rough few months. So, if you all could continue to pray, I would appreciate that. And if I do end up having to go have the shunt put into the base of my skull, which the doctor seemed like it was something he wanted to do soon, which, I mean, I can understand he's trying to protect what little bit of vision I have left, and I will, if I don't have the time to let you know, or if I get sick and end back up in the hospital, I will make sure that somehow Lisa knows, so that she can let everyone else know. And, but let's just pray that this is just a regular old cold that I caught from my little girl, and that, he can give me some time to prepare to have this done, and, make arrangements for my kids, because that was my big thing. When this happened, it happened so quick, and an ambulance showed up, and well, actually they showed up a couple times, but the last time they showed up, I didn't have a chance to make arrangements for Mariah and Jesse, and I think that had me more upset than anything. As a mom, I might not have been able to think straight, but I was thinking, my babies need me, and I'm not able to take care of them. And You know, so that was really, really hard. And those poor ambulance drivers, I am not a lightweight, folks. And for them to have to lift me, I felt so bad for them. And that's all I remember was saying, I don't want you to hurt yourself trying to lift me. I'm Fluffy. I don't want you to hurt yourself. I'm Fluffy. And can't remember anything else. Don't remember the ride to the hospital. Don't remember being admitted. Don't remember the first 3 days of the hospital. But I remember going, I don't want you to hurt yourself. I'm Fluffy. So, you know, I really want to thank the ambulance drivers and them for everything they did and what they did to keep my heart going, because I could tell they were afraid. And, well, I couldn't tell. I could tell that when Danae told me that they said they were afraid, because I didn't remember it. And Danae tells me a few days later, after I'm thinking straighter and my blood pressure's high enough and my kidneys are working again, you know, that they were really nervous and afraid because my blood pressure was so low. And so I just, you know, I want to thank them that they cared enough to be concerned about what I would just see as some old fat lady. And that's, you know. So their work means a lot to me and I appreciate it. And now that I'm home, I will definitely be doing something to thank them for all their hard work. But that's it. I need to get off here. I'm not feeling good. And I'm just going to go lay down again and get some rest. But I do, you know, have wanted to share this with you, tell you what's going on. I have worked on a few projects that I will try to get a video out to you guys for soon. And I'm having trouble. I can't find half my stuff because I can't remember. It's been so long since I crafted. I don't remember where I put it. Can't remember how to work my camera with the digital thing that I have in my remote. So I'll figure that out eventually. And get back to doing videos as soon as I can, because I really miss it. I miss crafting so much. Alright, everybody, I appreciate everything. Remember to practice your CPR, craft, pray, repeat. Thanks for visiting me today, and happy crafting. Love you all. Bye.